Okay.
Thursday morning, waking up California with Diego Martinez, candidate for governor of California. Good morning, everybody. We'll take a few minutes, let some of you guys log in, and we'll get the program going. It's 9:01 every Thursday morning, waking up California with Diego Martinez. And we have some questions from last week that I want to kind of address. We talked a little bit about CPS last week, and I kind of backed off a little bit, but we're going to talk about the CPS system today. We're going to talk about SB 65, which is the income equity bill that just passed that a lot of people don't know. We talked about SB 663, which was about giving up our information if we sign the recall. I also want to go over the recall a little bit and what the process is for the recall, because a lot of us don't understand what it really is or what it means in today's world. So this program is an opportunity for anybody, I don't care what party lines you're with, to come on in and discuss the policies, the bills that are being passed every day underneath our noses that we don't know about. A lot of people always ask me, where do you stand? What's your platform? Where do you come from? Well, my platform's simple. I'm a blue collar worker. I own a business. I worked in the auto industry for 17 years, and I went from salesman to a general manager. So I do know business, and I do know finances. California's a business. So I'm a small business owner right now. I call it small business, but it's a successful business. And that's what you got to keep in mind. Any business that's successful is a successful business, especially after the last year that we went through with COVID-19 and everything else that's going on in this world, right? So what do I bring to the table? I bring business knowledge. I'm a blue collar worker. I go to work every day. I'm in my office pretty much every day. I bring the reality of the California people. I understand that we have to clean out Sacramento. We have to clean the swamp out, like Donald Trump said. I am a Republican. I've been a Republican since 2008 when I became a U.S. citizen. That being said, I believe that both parties have failed us. The California GOP, the California Republican Party, and the Democratic Party. And I can explain it, we can run it out, but it's not fair to the California taxpayers. And I'm going to get to SB 665 right now, which is the equity income. So basically what they're saying is that every low-income Californian is going to get $1,000 a month. Boy, that sure sounds great, right? An extra $1,000 in your pocket? Just a simple question. Where's the money coming from? Who's paying for it? How can you give somebody who doesn't have a job, who doesn't work, who doesn't want to go to work, anything? People ask me why I'm running for office. It's laws like this that make you want to run for office. Because if you are a California taxpayer and you're forking the bill for everybody, when enough is enough. Enough is enough right now. We, as Californians, shouldn't have to keep supporting somebody else because they just don't want to get off their ass and go to work. That's not the way life is. Socialism should never happen in the United States. We have one of the most beautiful things. It's called a middle class, the working Californian, the blue collar. How is it that we're going to lose that class if we let socialism keep going? And take a look at California, because we're getting there. We provided housing for illegal immigrants, yet our veterans sleep on the street. We provided hotels for the homeless, yet our veterans sleep on the street. Where's our loyalty? Where's our pride? When I say that both parties have failed us, they have. The reason both parties have failed us is simple. Where were they when your business got shut down? Where were they when your church got told that you couldn't go to church for your religious freedom? Where were they They were at home getting paid while the rest of us were trying to fight unemployment. If you're a business owner like myself, you're trying to find for a PPP loan, and that most of us didn't qualify. Yet Gavin Newsom and his companies, they all qualified, and they got hundreds of thousands of dollars. And most of us couldn't get $10,000 just to keep our businesses open. The system is against a hardworking Californian, but yet we're expected to pick up the tab at the end of dinner. Not only the tab, but we're expected to leave a tip. And that's what SB 65 stands for. The hardworking taxpayer has to pick up the tab and pay somebody $1,000 for what? Get a job. It's that simple. You want to make money, get off your ass and go to work. We have got to stop the free programs, from free for illegal immigrants to free for people who are sitting at home doing nothing. So now welfare isn't enough. Now we're going to give you an extra $1,000 a month out of the California taxpayers' money again. How about we invest that money in putting our dams and our reservoirs where they belong, so we can hold water, so our farmers could go back to producing the produce that they need, so they can get the water that they need in the Central Valley, so that we can be back to selling 80% of the produce that is sold in the United States. How about taking that same money that you're going to give to somebody and putting it to programs to help people get off drugs, get off alcohol, and get on their feet for a better future? Here's a better one. You don't want to spend the money in infrastructure, which we need. Desalination plants for water, nuclear plants, so that we can get enough electricity to keep going. But you want to go with the Green New Deal. We have got to stop wasting California taxpayers' money. And we have got to put it to work in the right places. We have got to get trade schools back in California so that people can go back to work. We have got to open our doors, deregulate California, so we can bring corporations into California that will help us build our infrastructure and our longevity for financial freedom away from the federal government. We had a surplus before Gavin Newsom took office. Our surplus is gone. We waited till the federal government bailed us out. We kept all our businesses shut down. Yet it's funny, June 19th is coming around the corner, right? I guess that must have been the expiration date on COVID-19. No, the expiration date is on Gavin Newsom's job and ability to keep screwing up California. That's what it is. Everybody who went out there and joined the recall costs, I want to say thank you. I want to thank each and every single one of you, because last February, March, when I decided to run for governor of California, the recall wasn't happening. There was nothing going on. I started early so people would get to know who I was, so I would get to meet a lot of people up and down California. We have 58 counties that we have to cover. But I also wanted to know what the real issues were, because you got 58 counties with 58 different issues that need to be addressed, right? Because no two counties are alike. In July, I was at the Rescue America rally in Sacramento. I had the honor of speaking with Buzz, Sharon Crow, Brandon from the Walkaway campaign. I was there. Look it up. 2 weeks before that, which would have been June, I believe, I was actually in Sacramento, my first Sacramento rally, with people at Rockland, California, who put it together. And we were on a motion and a movement already, because we knew California had to get changed. So I've been doing this for a minute. And what I call a minute, I don't like to put a timeline, but I believe it was February, March of last year when we put our intent to run for governor. The first few months till about June were a little rough, because when you're new to the political game, not a lot of people want to open up the door for you. Not a lot of people want to guide you. But we made it. We got fortunate. We met with some people that guided me in the right direction, that helped me get out there and get to the next person and get to the next person to where we are today. So I laugh when I see new candidates coming on because the recall all of a sudden is happening. What have you done? Where have you been? What have you done for California? What are your running goals? Just because you put that you're running for governor doesn't mean that you're ready to run for governor. If you never ran a business before, if you don't understand what California is about, just because you have a pretty face doesn't mean that you deserve to be governor of California. It's about facts. It's about change. It's about having a plan and expressing your plan. Go to DiegoMartinezForGovernor.com. I lay it all out. I'm not afraid to tell you what my plan is for nothing. Because if you don't have a plan, how can you be successful? An idea is great. How many of you out there in California do not know our problems? We all know them. We live with them. If you live in the San Diego, Chula Vista area down by the border, guess what? We know there's an immigration problem. We know that there's people crossing the border every day illegally in the United States. If you work in the medical field, you know that these people that are coming over here are getting free medical, yet you yourself probably don't have it. Or somebody in your family can't afford medical. That's a problem. Unless you're blind, and even if you're blind, when you go on to any city, any town, or I go out anywhere, we all see the homeless problem. We don't see it. If you don't see it, you can smell it. If you go to San Francisco, you can step on it. These are problems. If you live in the Central Valley and you're a farmer, you're a picker, you work in the agricultural business, the dairy business, we have a problem. We have a water problem and we have an over-regulation problem where you're telling me that you're taxing a dairyman because his cow farted. We have a problem. We can go on and on and on and on all day long talking about every problem that we have in California. How about we talk about some solutions and how we're going to fix and get California back on the right track? We have an immigration problem that we need to fix. Unless you like the way immigration is right now. If you like people coming over here, taking advantage of the system, living off the California taxpayer, then please tell me I'm offline by trying to fix the immigration program once and for all. I want everybody to know this. I'm a Republican. But before I was a Republican, I was a Californian. And I understand that the wall needs to go up. We need to secure our border for our safety because we need to know who's coming into the United States. And we also have to stop the drugs from coming into the United States, and securing the border, building the wall may not stop it 100%, but it'll slow them down. ICE needs to be rebuilt, restructured, and let loose to do their job. Drug enforcement units need to go do their jobs. So what does that mean? That means that we have about 10 million illegal immigrants or illegal persons or undocumented persons, whatever the politically correct way is right now. Let's just put it this way. We got 10 million people that came into this country that we don't know about, that don't have permission to be here, but are here. Okay? I don't care how you want to word it. It is what it is. It's the truth. I'm not a career politician. I tell it how it is. I tell it straight. And if it offends you, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to offend anybody. I'm just trying to be realistic and let us know exactly what we deal with every day. So what are we going to do? It's almost impossible to deport 10 million people. A lot of these people have jobs, families here already. They established themselves. So we're going to fix the immigration system. If you're here, you don't have paperwork, we are actually going to give you a work permit for the next 4 to 5 years so you can prove that you belong in the United States. But first and foremost, you're no longer going to get free insurance. You're no longer going to get free housing. There's nothing free because the California taxpayer is tired of flipping the bill for everybody in their free system. It is time that we actually take control of our finances in California and quit giving away anything. We're going to exchange a work permit, 4-year work permit, so you can prove that you're a law-abiding citizen, that you're here to work, and that you're here to do the right thing before you can apply for your green card. You've earned that right, then you can apply for your green card. But you're going to pay taxes, just like every other Californian here. You have got to pay your fair share of taxes, just like the rest of us. Free is done. Free is over. Nothing's free in this world. The California taxpayer has been paying for that. I'm going to do away with SB 65. There's no free money. But what I will provide is trade schools and the ability for you to have a better opportunity to go get a better job. I will deregulate California so we can bring industries back here so you can have a better paying job. But guess what? That's work, not free. Industries need to come back to California, so we have to deregulate California. We have to talk about nuclear plants for our energy. We have got to talk about biofuel. We have got to talk about desalination plants so we can have water. California needs to have all the water we need. Guess what? We're going to do that. We're going to stop a train to nowhere, and we're going to take those billions of dollars that have lined the pockets of politicians' families, and we're going to put them to work for infrastructure. We're going to put them to work to build our dams and our reservoirs so we can have water in the Central Valley. We're going to go back to making California a livable state where people want to come and visit. We're going to go to San Francisco, and we're going to clean up San Francisco and the streets where you can go there and actually enjoy yourself again. We're going to address the homeless problem as a California problem and as a state problem, not as a county by county problem. We're going to have the counties involved, but the state government's going to take over it because we're going to fix the problem once and for all. We're going to stop wasting our money and letting people get rich and the money not going where it belongs. It's time that we as Californians take our state back for our better future. So for the homeless issues, we're going to open up mental health again. Mental institutions will be reopened. I will go back to 1985. I will reverse Ronald Reagan's law. We will bring mental health back. That should clear up about 70% of the homeless issues that we have on the street right now. We're going to take the other 30%. We're going to provide them rehab, alcohol clinics, and a counselor. But they're going to help us take the old military bases, the old warehouses that are just sitting there rotten to hell that we own, not somebody's hotel that nobody's managing. Forget that. We're not going to give them a place to do their drugs and their labs. We're going to give them an opportunity to have some dignity, some self-respect, and an opportunity to learn a job trade so they can help us build their housing. They can have a rehab center and an alcohol center and a counselor to help them get themselves back together, back into the working force, back to California, respectable people to help in society. We're going to redo welfare in California. We're going to go back to the welfare to work program because we're going to open up trade schools. We're going to give these people an opportunity, these Californians, an opportunity to go to a trade school, have their kids watch while they go to the trade school or while they're working. We're going to help people get back on their feet and off the California system. It is enough. The California taxpayers have flipped the bill enough. If we're going to flip the bill, let's flip it for our veterans who fought for our freedom, who fought, gave up their limbs, gave up their life for our freedom to be here, to be able to do what we do. Our veterans should be number one for everybody to respect. We ask these young kids to go there and fight for a better future. We ask these kids, and yet we're not sitting here helping them do anything when they get back. Has to stop. I have a guest with me today. How you guys doing? Joe, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good. So tell me a little bit about yourself, Joe.
Well, I'm almost 56 years old. I'm a retired law enforcement officer. I started my career out as a federal correctional officer. I worked in San Francisco for a few years, and I retired out of a little town called Rohnert Park in Sonoma County. And it's a public safety department that does both fire and police.
So we talked last week a little bit about BLM. We talked about defunding the police. We talked about where I stand with it. A lot of people don't know this. I own a bail bonds company, so I get people out of jail that you guys get to watch or put in there. People ask me, how do you live with yourself? I said, everybody's innocent until proven guilty. California, the United States, right? You guys catch them. You guys caught them doing a crime. Now it's your job to prove that they committed the crime. My job is just to get them home safe and make sure they don't commit another crime before they go to court. At the same time, I'm a bounty hunter, so when they miss court, I get to go back and do your guys' job, and not your guys' job because it's my fault they're out, right? So I get to go clean up my mess and put them back in jail. Not one of the funnest part of the jobs. It's probably one of the most hectic parts of the job of that unknown. I can only imagine what you guys will feel like when you pull somebody over and you don't know what's in the car. So, how do you think police officers feel about the cite and release right now that's going on?
I can't speak for everybody, but I know that a lot of the people that I talk to can't stand it because it's just you're not doing anything. You're just you become more of a revenue generator for the cities than a public servant. They won't say quotas. You don't have quotas. You have goals. And it goes against your performance evaluations if you don't write enough tickets. And the cite and release stuff is you're sending them back out there to do the same thing that they were doing prior to that. When I worked in San Francisco, I worked as we did drug enforcement. We did buy bust, and sometimes that we would arrest the same person 2 to 3 times for sales of narcotics to a peace officer, and it's ridiculous.
So do you think Proposition 47 helped or hurt the justice system? Do you know what Proposition 47 is? Sorry.
I don't know everything about Proposition 47, but I believe that's when they decriminalized a lot of stuff. If I'm thinking, and it's to me it empowers more criminals is what that did.
Well, I agree with you. Prop 47 was where if you got caught with drugs, it was a cite and release. If you got caught shoplifting under $950, I believe it is a cite and release. It gave the criminals a lot more power. So, you being an ex-police officer, how do we fix what people think about police officers in today's world? Because I don't think every police officer is bad, by no means. I think one bad apple ruined the bunch of good police officers out there. How do you feel about that being in law enforcement?
Well, I think that the media right now gives all the attention to the less than 1% of the officers that are doing the wrong thing. 99.9% of those officers that are out there working right now are doing everything they can to make your life and their life a better life. They want to help people. They want to do the right thing, and they're trying like crazy to do it. They're doing their job, but one hand tied behind their back. You're constantly under scrutiny after the fact. You have milliseconds to make a decision, a life and death decision, and after it's done, you can expect at least 2 years of litigation afterwards because of the lawsuits. And the first thing the administration will do is pretty much just let you go, feed you to the wolves. It's up to you to defend yourself. And I think it's a hard enough job as it is, and they're making it a lot harder. And most of the officers out there are trying to do the right thing.
So do you think what
focuses on that less than 1%?
So do you think what's going on right now with BLM, that they're actually watching them destroy property, but then when a patriot group goes out there and starts retaliating per se, because as a small business owner, you got to protect your business, and the DAs aren't prosecuting, the police department really isn't arresting them. Do you think with all the lawsuits that are going on to police officers are now a little gun shy of going out on a call and taking care of stuff?
Absolutely. Why would you want to risk your livelihood, your family's security and everything for somebody they're not gonna be there for you? The administrations, the DAs, the politicians. There's a political agenda behind everything that happens, and I'm not sure what the political agenda is for this Black Lives Matter movement. to me, it just seems like chaos. And I don't know what that would serve unless you wanted to enforce martial law. If it gets so bad, you want to enforce martial law on American people and throw away the Constitution.
So now I'm going to throw a wrench in all this for you.
Is that the goal? I don't know.
I'm going to throw a wrench in this for our last question. I appreciate you coming on with me and kind of giving us a little on the other side, because first of all, once I become governor, the police not going to get defunded. I think we're going to go and recruit the right people to be police officers, people who have mental health, BAs and AAs and social services, so that we can have a solid unit to be able to address the problems that we have in California, because that's a big problem. But here's the biggest wrench. God, what was I going to ask you now? I lost thought. No. Do you believe that there is a fix for everything that's going on right now with the district attorney's office prosecuting more people? And do you believe if we go back to law and order, where the police departments or the sheriff's departments are walking on the beats and neighborhoods, if that would help the relationship between police and the community? Do you think going back to being a beat cop, where you actually walk the beat and build that community reinforcement, if that will help?
Absolutely. Absolutely, that would help. I was a beat cop in San Francisco in the North Beach, and it was my job to know those businesses. It was my job to know the families that own those businesses and where the kids went to school. I talked to them every day. I knew who was supposed to be where, when they were supposed to be there, and I knew who wasn't. So if you're invested into that community, if you're an officer and you're invested in that community and you know the people on a first name basis when you walk into their stores and you say hi and you talk to them every day and say, hey, what's going on? What can I do for you today? What's your major problem that's happening right now, and how can I fix it? And they'll talk to you. They're happy to talk to you, and it gives you the power to go out and do what you're supposed to do. So yes, beat cops are a must. Absolutely a must.
Okay. Well, that's one of my ideas, is to put more beat cops on so we can actually get involved with the community. I had a police officer tell me, well, you're not walking the beat. I said, let me go get my vest and my gun and I'll go walk the beat with you. Because I think that's what we need. I think we need to be more present in front of our community so they trust us more. Now, as an ex-police officer, how do you feel about carry concealed compared to constitutional carry?
Well, constitutional carry, are you talking about open carry versus concealed carry?
Yes, or even just carrying a gun in California. With the way you've been a police officer, do you think it helps the community have more people with guns, or do you think it hurts it to have more law-abiding citizens carry a gun?
I think it would help the community to have more law-abiding citizens that are carrying. I mean, they're not the ones that I'm worried about. It's the criminals that don't follow the laws in the first place. We have plenty of laws on the books for firearms and weapons of all types, but they're not enforced when they get into the courts. It's the first thing they throw out. The enhancements for firearms is the first thing. When I was a federal correctional officer, the first thing that would happen was they'd make a motion to dismiss their firearms charge, and it was the first thing they'd throw out. So that time that they get for that enhancement would go away. So there was no accountability for anybody that did the wrong thing. If you're a law-abiding citizen and you're carrying concealed, you're trained with that firearm, you know how to use it, you're familiar with it, I've got no problem with that.
So,
none whatsoever.
Would you, if you were still a police officer, would you be for or against open carry in California?
Open carry, not so much, because open carry, you're showing everybody you have a weapon, and then you're making yourself a target. Concealed carry, if you're a law-abiding citizen, you want to carry concealed, go for it. That wouldn't scare me at all. I'm not scared of the law-abiding citizens. It's the criminals that makes me a little nervous.
And final question, I know I kind of said that already. If you were to, and I get asked this all the time, so I deal with it a little different because I deal with law enforcement every day. If I have a CCW in California, which is a carry concealed permit, and you pull me over, how would you like people to address that? How would you have liked people to address that?
If you're worried about what I'm going to do, if you just say, hey, look, I have a concealed weapons permit, I'm carrying a firearm right now, and keep your hands on the steering wheel so the officer can see them, that's the best thing you can do. Or don't make any affirmative movements towards that firearm and just go about your business. Give the officer your license, registration, and proof of insurance. Go about your business as it would a normal interaction with anybody. And they don't necessarily have to know if you're not doing anything wrong. If you get pulled over for a citation or just an infraction or a traffic citation, it's just a normal interaction between two people. You don't really need to go into depth or raise the heightened awareness of an officer if you don't need to.
Okay. I actually agree with what you just said because I'm the same way. But somebody said that if they run your license plate, they can tout that you're a CCW holder. Is that true or not true?
I have not. I've never heard of that. I know that they can find out if I'm prior law enforcement if I had my plates. That sometimes you can register your plates as a law enforcement so that they know you're law enforcement when they pull you over. But other than that, that's the only reason they would know. So
do you think do you think you should know when you pull somebody over? Like, let's say you have a CCW, it should go with attached to something in DMV where they pull you over, they know that you might have a firearm on you?
No, I think if you're a law-abiding citizen, it's none of my business.
Okay, that's fair. Well, I want to thank you for coming on today, taking your time and giving us a different view. And we will see you guys later on. How's everybody over there doing? Thank you guys for joining us. And I'm going to invite anybody else. So I'll see you guys on the next one. I guess you guys have to turn off your camera over there, but to do this. So there we go. So if you guys could just turn that off, we'll let the next person come on. So there you have it. We have ex-police officer telling us how it all works and what's going on with it. Let's see if I could go back to my live room here. Somehow this got... Well, for some reason, my camera now didn't want to work very good. Let's try here. There we go. Well, let's try it again. Sorry. Camera on the other side isn't working very good. There we go. So there you have it. And I want to invite anybody else who wants to come in and comment on what's going on, because that's from a police officer standpoint of view of what's going on. I work with the police every day, so I kind of knew where we were headed with some of the questions and answers because I talk to police officers every day. They're good police officers. They're out there trying to get home to their families, essentially. That's what they really want to do. They want to make sure that you're safe, but they also want to make sure that they go home every night to their family and be safe too, right? Because that's what's important. So any other topics that somebody wants to bring up right now, I'm going to open it up. So put your subjects on the subject line and we can talk about anything else. I had a few questions that we'll just kind of start talking about till you guys start asking something or anything that you guys want to know. I want to talk about the recall a little bit. So we know that we have enough signatures. Today should be certified that we have enough signatures for the recall. A lot of speculation of what's going to happen after that. So from now to, I believe, June, Gavin Newsom has the right, and his team has the right, to try to take some of those signatures off the petition. And how do they do that? They call you, they'll send you an email, they'll try to persuade you that you made a mistake, that you really don't want the recall to happen. After that, in June, the Secretary of State, the Treasury get together and they verify the funds and the money that it's going to take for a recall election. Okay? Once that's done, the Lieutenant Governor now steps in, and the Lieutenant Governor at this point will set a date for the recall election. Then we're ready to go. Once there's a recall election, the candidates, such as myself and anybody else who's going to be running for governor, will have 58 days prior to that date to put in their paperwork to officially run on the recall. And I actually, on both Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all the other platforms, I actually laid out a list of exactly what I just talked about and how it works. So a lot of stuff's coming out right now. If you guys are on Facebook a lot, if you guys are on Instagram, we keep hearing this. We need to get behind one candidate. How many of you guys hear that? How many of you guys believe that? The recall don't work that way, unfortunately. You're going to have probably, in the last recall election, there was 103 people running for office. Here's the problem, or my biggest problem. I'm not going to vote for a career politician. I don't care if you've been in Washington 30 years, and I don't care what your record in Washington was, because guess what? If you were in Washington, what the hell did you do for California for the last 30 years? Absolutely zero. So now that there's an opportunity that everybody went out and did all this hard work, now you want to jump into a California election. Where were you? Where have you been? Sorry, if you're a career politician, whether I'm running or not, you would not have my vote, because you have failed us. All of us. Whether you're a Democrat or Republican, you have failed us and have failed the California people, especially in the last year, because where the heck have you guys been? Why haven't you been in our county councils fighting to open our business? Why haven't you been protecting the people out here? Why have you guys allowed BLM to get away with what they do? Because the district attorney won't file charges? Aren't you representing us, the California people? If you were a mayor of a city and you let your city close because you didn't have a backbone to tell Gavin Newsom that your city was going to be a sanctuary city for businesses, and opened up and figured out how to get your kids back to school and help the churches reopen, why should I vote for you? Because the truth of the matter is, if you couldn't stand up to Gavin Newsom, how the hell do I expect you to stand up to the President of the United States and secure our borders? Because if you can't stand up for your own city, how the hell can you stand up for a whole state? Maybe you got to ask where the backbone went. Because you got elected doesn't make you God. It makes you a servant of the California people and everybody who's in office. Guess what? You have failed us. You have failed California. So I'm sorry if you're a career politician and that offends you. I don't care. You guys offended us. When we closed our businesses, when we couldn't go to church, when our kids are 2 years behind because they can't go to school, because you don't have your things in the right place and can't go tell the school board, open the damn schools up so our kids could get educated. Yet our school teachers could go educate in person immigrants who just crossed the border. No, we do need to get behind one candidate. You are doing a great job putting yourself out there. Keep it up. I appreciate that. We're going to keep going. We're not going anywhere. I'm going to run. I'm going to run for the California blue-collar worker, because I know what it's like when I leave my house today and I got to go put $5 worth of gas that I had to earn the money and pay for it. Not the California taxpayers gave me. I'm going to run because I got one special interest group. That's each and every single one of you California taxpayers. And the truth is, I don't give a rat's what party you're with. You're a Californian, you pay taxes, and you're my number one priority. This isn't about party lines anymore. This is about a better future and a better California where we can all be proud to say we live in California, where we can go down at any street and not see the homeless people there anymore, where we can look around and see businesses opening up, where we can have affordable housing for low-income people that can pay $1,200, $1,300 a month and rent, but you can't buy a house. That program's coming to an end when I become governor, because I am going to put affordable housing. I'm going to rezone a lot of the commercial buildings. We're going to actually put opportunity for a California taxpayer to own their home, regardless of credit, regardless of income. Because if you've been paying for a year, $1,200, $1,300, $1,400, $1,800, $3,000 in some area rent, and you've been there 5, 6, 10 years, I'm not going to allow you to waste your money anymore. I'm going to give you an opportunity to be a homeowner. I'm going to give you an opportunity to live the American dream. Now, whether you take it or not, that's your decision. Unfortunately, voting in this day's age isn't guaranteed who's in charge of the ballot boxes and counting votes. Sally, good point. You know what? That's a great point right there. We don't know, right? But what we do know is that a recall election is probably the most fairest election that you're going to see. It's kind of hard to change people's votes, and it's kind of hard to hide the fraud, because I'm actually going to post what the old ballot looked like when the last recall came. So basically the ballot is square, and on one side it says, do you want Gavin Newsom recalled or not? Yes. The answer is yes, right? If you're like me, we're sick and tired of what's going on. We work the corners. We work the streets. We're sick and tired of this. Then it's going to ask, who do you want to replace Gavin Newsom? Diego Martinez. Don't forget that. Diego Martinez. Just joking. You guys pick who you guys deserve and who you guys feel is best for the job, and who's going to represent you the best. I hope I've earned that respect from each and every single one of you, and I've earned the right to get your vote, because I will work for you. You are my only special interest group, because I want my grandchildren to have a better life and a better California. I don't want to leave California. I love California. I've been here all my life. I want to stay, but we got to change it, and we got to make it stable. We have to deregulate California. I can't say that enough. So what happens is this. You can't change the vote. So what ends up happening is, if I want to go back and recount the ballots, we can, even if we do it by hand, because then you could look and match. Because if I put yes and the computer said no, we have a problem. But the solution to that is you look at the bottom and see who they checked off to replace Noodles. So this is going to be one of the most fairest elections that we're going to have. Now, my challenge to the California Republican Party or the GOP, get off your butts. Get people certified to go count the damn votes, so we have the right people in place to count the right votes. That's our fault. And that's the California Republican Party who needs to step up. And if you're a tax-paying Californian, get involved. If you thought there was fraud before, this is how we stop the fraud. We get certified, and we go help count the votes. Any one of us could do it. If you guys need the information, ask the questions. I will put the link on how you can get involved to go and be a counter at a poll site. I'm going to promise everybody in California this. When I become governor in November, I will get the Secretary of State to fix voter fraud. I will do away with mail-in ballots, and I will stand for voter ID, voter registration, and prove that you're a United States citizen and you can vote. That's either your passport, your birth certificate, or if you're like me, your certificate of citizenship in the United States. And yes, you're going to need that to go vote. The same way I needed my ID to go to DMV the other day to register my car. The same way that when I go buy alcohol or tobacco at the local liquor store where the kid is 21, 22 years old, asks me for my what? ID to buy alcohol, even though I could be his dad? Yeah. We're going to need ID to vote in the state of California. We're going to fix voter fraud. And the Secretary of State will take the whole year if it takes to do that, because I want to make sure. I want to make sure that the right people are voting. We lost a Senate seat. Why? Because our politicians have failed us. Because we'd rather go to another state and pay their taxes and help them than stay here and fight for our own, because California has beaten every business owner up, has taken advantage of every California taxpayer. That's why. Because it's time that Californian taxpayers take our state back for a better future. And the time is now. There is no better time. There is no tomorrow. Why am I running for governor of California? Because I'm sick and tired of career politicians and millionaires taking advantage of the hardworking people like us. I am sick and tired of thinking that I have to move states for a better future. I'm sick and tired of paying people to stay at home and do nothing, while the rest of us are stressing at home on how we're going to make a living. Yet they want to turn around and insult us. When all this opens up, hey, I got a book for sale. No, you don't. You have a book to give away because we've already paid you for the damn book. We paid you to stay home and write the book. Give us the damn book. I'm not paying you a penny more for that book. Because where the hell were you when I was a county council begging to open up my business so I could feed my family? And how dare you stand there and say that my job's not essential? Everybody in California is essential to their family, to their livelihood, and their well-being. Essential is a word. Should have never been used when you talk about California taxpayers. Because you know what's not essential? It's our government, the overreaching of our government, stepping on our Constitution, and disrespecting the California taxpayers that pay you to do your damn job that you are not even doing. That's the problem. You know who's not essential? Gavin Newsom. And right now, our assembly people who are passing stupid laws behind our backs and don't have enough courage to be transparent and let the California taxpayers know. You got people, assemblymen, that want to go pound their chest about going to court and taking Gavin Newsom to court and fighting for one assembly law or another. Why? Couldn't you tell us about SB 65 that we're going to pay another $1,000 for people to sit at home? The California taxpayers are sick and tired of getting taxed to death. The farmers are tired of begging for water that's free. We're tired. Yeah, I'm mad. I am. I'm mad at every single career politician who's making a grip. Millionaires. How do you go into office broke and come out as a millionaire when your job pays a couple $100,000 a year? What a shame. We vote for you because we have faith in you. We vote for you because our ex-president decided to put you on their council. The reality is we don't even know you. We vote for you and we put our future in your hands for you to step on us. Call us unessential. Not back us up. Not stand behind us when we need you. Your time's up. Term limits are coming. Because when I become governor, fair is fair and right is right. And no, I don't want to control the assembly with all... I don't want to join the assembly with all... I don't want to join the assembly with all Republicans. I want it fair for the California people. I want to have both. I want to make sure that the California people get educated and they understand what laws are being passed and what isn't being passed. I want each and every single one of you guys to know what's going on. I want to be transparent and I want to be held accountable for my actions and my administration's actions. The recall is tough. And the guys who ran the recall, I can only congratulate you guys and I can only say thank you to everybody who was out there with me every weekend, week out, getting petitions signed. But now it's time to take our state back and stop voting in career politicians, whether they were in Washington for 30 years or whether they've been in California or whether they've been a mayor, wherever the hell they've been serving. Look at the record and look what they have done. And then ask yourself, where was this person when COVID-19 was, and why didn't they come out here and help us? Why did they leave us to hang? Why should I buy a book from you when I already paid for the damn book? Because we paid for your salaries while you sat at home and the rest of us were struggling trying to figure out how to make a living. These are my 2 cents. my values and where I stand. My special interest group, and you'll never hear me get tired saying, is the California taxpayer. I'm an underdog in this race, and I know it. I get told it every day. But for each and every single one of you guys to tell me to get off the race, I'm not going nowhere. I'm going to see this all the way through if it costs me my very last penny that I have. Because I can always rebuild. Because something I know is how to work for a living. I know how to get out and I know how to work. We're going to change California one assembly seat at a time, one Senate seat at a time. We're going to go out and we're going to do something that everybody's afraid to do. I'm not afraid of losing my spot as governor of California in 2021. I'm more afraid of losing California to a dictator again. I'm afraid of losing California to the assembly people that we have in office right now that don't give a rat's behind about each and every single one of us. So guess what? I'm going to go out and I'm going to work for 2022's election, not only to get reelected, but also to get more people in the Senate that are Republicans and like-minded, people who want to grow California and don't have a special interest group other than the California people. And I'm going to go help assembly people who are running for office because they fit our agenda and they're going to help us better our state. Other than that, the state can't change. You want the state to go Republican, it's not going to. We need to go purple. And what I mean by purple means we need to go out there and we need to get the right assembly people in office and term limits for everybody. So we got fresh blood with fresh ideas coming in to help us. Somebody said, well, how would they know what to do? Well, you know what? You still have people there that might run 2 terms, 3 terms that will help. But guess what? No more career politicians. Let's put term limits on everybody. Dianne Feinstein, for her next run, she'll be 92 years old. Really? Nancy Pelosi? She's been in office longer than I've been alive. What do they know about everyday California suffering? Because guess what? California is not the same as it was when you went to Washington years ago. We as Californians have to take our state back, and it's time to stop voting in millionaires. Stop voting who the GOP wants, because if you think the GOP has your best interest in mind, look around. We use words like rhinos. You want to get them out of office? Vote them out. You want term limits? Vote them out. It's in your hands. And if you're a Republican out there and you won't run because there's another Republican running, you're wrong. We run to put the best people in leadership, the best people to serve the California people in leadership. And everybody who we have representing us right now pretty much has failed, each and every single one of us. So why would you want to keep paying their salaries? Because if you did a lousy job at work, you wouldn't have a job. But yet we keep employing the same people. 30 years in Washington does not give you the right, does not give you the experience to come to California and say that you know how to run California where you haven't been here for 30 years and you don't know what the hell's going on. You're a mayor of a city and you turn that city off, one of the biggest cities in California, and you want me to vote for you for California? You're crazy. It's not going to happen. I saw what you did in San Diego. Not doing it. And if you ran 10 races and you haven't been voted in and you had a great opportunity, but you disappeared the last 2 weeks of the election, not voting for you either. And if you don't even know what gender you are and you're messed up in that, not going to vote for you either. It's time to vote for a blue-collar worker, somebody who's actually going to roll up their sleeve and go to work every day for each and every single one of us. So if you're a career politician, whether I'm running or not, you will never get my vote. And if you're in Congress right now, if you don't shape up and do something extraordinary to help your district, I wouldn't vote for you either. And I won't encourage anybody to vote for you, because we need people that want to fight for the California people. And if you're a Republican and you saw what happened to Taylor Greene and you're okay with that, we have a problem. Because where the hell was the Republican Party defending her? And where are they now when Maxine Waters can go and create hell There's no consequences. It's time to get a Republican Party with a set of balls and a backbone to represent the California people, because we are fighters. Because we're all still here trying to fight for a better state, for a better future, for law and order. And law and order will prevail in California when I become governor. We will not defund the police. We will strengthen our police departments. We're going to help them recruit the right people that they deserve. We're going to help mental health. We're going to help, for once and for all, the California people, so that we come out ahead. The California taxpayer is number one. The California people is number one. Donald Trump, I voted for him twice. I voted for Donald Trump, whether you like it or not. I did it. And I did it because he was the best man for the job. And he did a great job bringing jobs back to the United States. And our governor kept those jobs out of California. You want to blame somebody for what's going on in California? You don't need to go to Washington, D.C. You need to go to your district, to your county council. You need to go to Sacramento, to the governor, the lieutenant governor, secretary of state, and the AG. That's who you need to go to. Stop blaming somebody in Washington, D.C. for our local problems. You want to get involved? Get involved in your local politics. Change your mayors. Change your county council. You want to change the education system? Get involved in the school board. Hold them accountable for what's going on. Because under Diego Martinez as governor, everybody will be accountable for their actions. And school teachers, school unions, get your ass back to work. Teach the curriculum that we were founded on, not whatever you want. I don't care about transgender. I don't care what your love life is at home, but quit feeding it to our kids. Let the kids decide. But if you're a boy, you're a boy. If you're a girl, you're a girl. Do not mix the bathrooms. If you're a boy, you go to the boys' bathroom. If you're a girl, you go to the girls' bathroom. Do you understand how much damage and the doors that we're opening up by letting transgender people go in the same bathroom as boys and girls? Do you have a clue where the violence is going to start? The raping. Can't let that happen. What happened to God, country, respect, morals? Where are your career politicians now? How come they're not being held accountable for the place that we live and what they've done with our state? Because now it's time for accountability. We don't need to vote them back in. We're closing down prisons. We're letting prisoners out. Where did that happen? How come a criminal has more rights than a law-abiding citizen? What's going on, California? Name of the show says it very well. Wake up, California. It's time that we take our state. We bring law and order back. We bring some dignity and some respect. We allowed our churches to be open and do their job. Bring God back into our lives. Bring humanity back in our lives. Party lines don't matter. We're Californians and we're all suffering equally here. Let's get together for a better future for California. And that future starts with Diego Martinez for governor. Get rid of career politicians. Help me change California around. One person can't do it, but I promise you, I will work every day to recruit the right people to represent each and every single one of you. I will be transparent. I have nothing to hide. I'm going to go in to office with a certain amount of money, and I'm going to come back out of office with a certain amount of money. And no, I'm not going to be a millionaire when I come out, because the job doesn't pay that much. But I will do my job, and I will work for each and every single one of you. And as transparent as I am now, I will still be when I'm the governor, because transparency is the only way for a better future. I am Diego Martinez, and you can look me up at diegomartinezforgovernor.com. You can look me up on Facebook, Diego Martinez for Governor, and there's one that says unofficial. It's really official. Facebook just wouldn't let me change it. You can look me up there. And who am I? I'm a Californian, just like each and every single one of you, who's sick and tired of what's going on in our state. And it's time that we stand up. We stand up to career politicians, to corruption, and we say enough's enough. I'm a Californian who believes that the border wall needs to get finished. I believe in law and order. I believe in God. I believe in family, and I believe in our family values. I believe there's nothing free in this world. I believe we live in the greatest country in the world. I think if you're like me and you're an immigrant, we have gotten a second chance and an opportunity to come here and build something of ourselves, and we shouldn't throw that away. I believe that there's no better country in the world. And if you were born here, no matter your skin color, your creed, woman, man, the sky's the limit if you put your mind to it. And I think our school needs to start teaching that again. What do you want to do when you want to grow up? How are you going to get there? I believe with goals that are achievable and obtainable, we can do anything. I'm a normal Californian, just like each and every single one of you. That's who I am. More than lucky, more than fortunate to have an opportunity to be running for governor of California. But even more than that, I'm grateful to be in the United States of America and be a Californian. It's been a long ride since last March, and it's going to even get longer. I've been self-funding this campaign since last March. If you find it in you and you like what I have to say, you want to help me invest in your future, go to DiegoMartinezForGovernor.com, hit the donate button, and help me make a difference in California. I will see you guys next Thursday, Waking Up California with Diego Martinez. Again, I invite each and every single one of you to ask questions, and I invite each and every single one of you to come on my show if you like. We can have discussions about anything. Party lines don't matter. Just be a Californian, open-minded, and ready to discuss the issues. There is no hate. We don't need to hate each other. We don't need to dislike each other. Are we going to disagree? Of course we are. But that's what America's built on. People talking, building for a better future. I'll see you guys next week. DiegoMartinezForGovernor.com. Please hit the donate button. I appreciate it. And I'll see you guys later. And if you're in Woodland Hills, I will be there Saturday. We're going to be in Woodland Hills Saturday. So if you're in the area, go to my Facebook. I'll repost it on Instagram. Come out and meet me. Here, meeting me is free, right? You can come out there, come meet me, come ask me anything. If you guys see me out at a restaurant eating or at a gas station, talk to me. I don't have a problem talking to anybody because once I become governor, I work for you. And you have the right to ask me anything you want at any time that you want. I'll see you guys next week and Waking Up California with Diego.